Hey, what is up guys, and welcome to a quick review on Sam's Story, the final bit of DLC to release for Metro Exodus. This one takes place shortly after the events of the base game and follows Sam, a former member of Artyom's crew aboard the Aurora, as he leaves his old friends behind in search of a way back to the United States to find his father. But alas, in classic Metro style, his journey east proves to be far more difficult than expected. Similar to the two Colonels DLC, Sam's Story features a fully voiced protagonist, played by none other than Steve Bloom, aka Spike from Cowboy Bebop. He's got one of my favorite voices out there, and he does such a good job here as Sam that I honestly wouldn't mind seeing a full game in the Metro series with him as the main protagonist in the future. Now, unlike the previous DLC, Sam's Story takes place entirely on the surface, and similar to the base game, it's got a great mix of both linear and open world elements. Overall, it's an experience that really rewards exploration, with a bunch of optional side characters, danger-infested landmarks, and several other hidden secrets for you to discover. And man, some of the locations here are absolutely breathtaking. Most notably the city of Vladivostok and the Zolotoy Bridge. Not being from Russia myself, it's easy to forget that many of the places shown off in the Metro games actually exist. They aren't just made up, making it all the more cool to get to see what these new areas might look like if they were affected by a nuclear war and had mutants running around in real life. For just being a DLC, there's a fairly nice variety of locations here as well, with some fun multi-level structures to fight bandits in, and a good number of places like toxic bogs that require you to wear your gas mask, bringing back that sense of urgency on the surface that I think the base game lacked a bit. Many of these locations and their occupants have some really interesting lore behind them too, like a gang of slavers that switched from capturing humans to mutants. There's also talk of US cities like Seattle and San Diego, and you get to know a lot more about Sam's backstory and how an American like him ended up in Russia to begin with. Being set in a completely new part of the country this time around, one of the things I loved most about this DLC was how they made it so the locals had their own unique names for some of the monsters that we've come to know and love. For instance, rather than calling them demons or humanimals, the locals would instead use names like Batwings and Fuglies, which I thought was a very believable touch. On top of the normal monsters, there were also a few new creepy crawlies like the Zap Spiders. Yeah, as if the normal ones weren't bad enough already. And while I hated fighting these terrifying little bastards, they actually add a really nice dynamic to the flow of things, as they can use their electricity to shut off devices like your flashlight and night vision, forcing you to take them out first to make dealing with the normal spiders a bit more manageable. With a strong focus on leaving Russia behind, this DLC also introduces a couple of new American-based weapons, the Stallion and the Sammy, and each had a ton of unique parts scattered throughout the game world that you could find to better tailor them to your liking. In total, the expansion should last you around 6 hours if you do everything that the DLC has to offer. Not to mention, Sam's Story also has a decent amount of replayability to it as well, with your typical Metro choice and consequence, including an especially difficult decision you have to make during the finale, leaving you with the possibility for two completely different endings depending on what you decide. If you're a fan of the Metro series, particularly Metro Exodus, as this expansion is a little heavier on the open world stuff, I would say this is a definite buy. While it is a bit on the pricey side, I thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. But anyways guys, that's gonna do it for this review, so thanks for watching, hopefully you found the video helpful, and as always, I will see you in the next one.